having a wonderful day so far, whether it is a good morning to you or a good evening or a good afternoon or some other time of the day, wherever you are in the world, then I'm sending you lots of love to have a great day today and a great 24 hours ahead. And I always set the intention before I go ahead and do these readings that the cards give me an overview for the next day. So wherever you are, whatever your time zone, then take this reading for the next day for you. That's also known as a timeless reading. Good morning, Mr. Steve. Because it sort of it means that in the future, if you were to find this reading, stumbled across it somewhere in the mountainous lost regions of YouTube and watched it even 10 years from now, then it's sort of a way, I believe, and many others believe too, that perhaps Spirit has nudged you in the direction of the video to receive a message. So stick around with me for the next almost an hour we're up to now, aren't we? Because I keep rabbiting on, but stick around with me this morning for a while and I'll be giving you a quick astrology overview. We'll then do a collective reading, which could be targeted at one particular viewer entirely, or it could be more of an overarching general reading. If you've been drawn to the reading, you'll know if it's targeted at you. You'll know how to receive it. And then we'll do a 12 card reading where I'll invite you to choose a number between 1 and 12 or several numbers, or we can take the whole reading as one thing and then you can look at for any connections or any cards that resonate with you. And you can also ask me questions at the end, as long as we're not going on and on and on and on and on, because they seem to be getting longer and longer and longer. But that's mainly due not to questions, it's due to my digressions. So I think I might look a bit washed out and white today, but I think that's probably because I've got a new camera and it means that it's actually reacting to the light as it should do. So whereas before my old one I looked a bit green half the time, I don't know, maybe I do I look a decent colour, or do I just look like I'm washed out and need to adjust my lighting? But this is how it's going to be for today anyway. Right, who have we got? Mr. Steve, Helena, I for Jen, the Reese Way, Mandy. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. It's lovely to see you here this morning, as it always is. So what are the skies saying today? Not this sky, but the sky up there. What is the sky above us saying? So today we have a moon in Virgo trining Uranus in Taurus, which sounds a bit uncomfortable. That means that you can set your intentions to be really confident and bold. And you can imagine that something trining Uranus in Taurus would do that to a person. It's time to shake off those overcoats of inhibition and to sort of to let your inner phoenix burn through the outer coats of shyness and, release yourself from the burdens of expectation that other people sort of put on you. And you sort of feel like you can't shine, you can't show your true colors because of what others might think. So today's astrology is asking you to release those inhibitions, to leave them behind you like discarded clothes, and to step forward as your new, confident, bold Taurus self. Imagine Taurus like the bull, just like confident in your abilities, stubborn a little bit, and that translates as just very sure of yourself. So that's your astrology for the day. So we're going to do the collective reading now. So collective reading could be targeted at you. It's a 3-card reading, or it could be I'm just reading the chat here as usual and getting stuck for words. I don't look washed out. It's my angel juice shining through. I like that. I can go with that. My angel juice is shining through. Fabulous. Collective reading. So we do a 3-card spread, and it's different to a 12-card pickup because it's like a 3-card has almost got a beginning, a middle, and end for somebody, or it could be on a greater level. I've seen these 3-card readings play out like in the geopolitics of the day, or in just situations that are peculiar to a group of people or country or something like that. But they can be very specific. So again, take this if it resonates with you. Let's have a look. Let me focus on what I'm doing here and shuffle it properly. Right, so today we've got the Empress and the Nine of Wands and then the Knight of Cups. So what I'm seeing here is that if this reading applies to you, you're the kind of person who's been trying to make things happen, and you've been sort of standing your ground and defending a viewpoint because you've been protecting family or friends or somebody, and you feel like you've had to stand in front of them in order. The light is quite bright today. I wonder if I can just pull that curtain a bit like that. Oh, I thought I was going to pull it off its rail. That's better. Now I can actually see the cards. So this feels like you're having to stand in front of your viewpoint and protect somebody. So you've been protecting somebody or something, and it feels like you have been putting yourself between them and any threats. So it's like the mother energy. The Empress is a nurturing Mother Earth energy. And it feels like you have just gone into lioness mode about something, and you're being that lioness and protecting somebody. So that's you standing there, really defending them, standing in front of them, taking the force of the blow, so that they're behind you and they're protected. And what we see now coming is a knight in shining armor to your rescue. So it feels like you're having to work really hard to stick up for somebody, or to jolly somebody along, to like support somebody, to enable them to live safely and feeling protected and feeling safe. So you're having to put a lot of work into that, and it feels like an event's going to change very quickly. There's going to be a knight in shining armor arrives. Now that could be figuratively or it could be metaphorically. It could just be that events are going to change and release that pressure on you that's sort of been, you felt obliged to nurture, to mother, to protect. Feels like there's going to be a breakthrough in that area, and whoever it is or whatever it is that you're protecting and nurturing and mothering is going to be able to step out on their own a little bit more. And that ties in with the it ties in with the astrology of the day as well, because that was about stepping forward into that Taurus energy and becoming more confident, becoming more emboldened. I was going to say more bold there, and I realised it was emboldened. So I'm on top of the language today as well, crowd. So it feels that those two tie in very nicely. So whoever it is that you are standing in front of and taking the force of the blow for is going to feel that planetary energy and perhaps be able to step into their own power and stick up for themselves, which relieves the burden on you a little bit. Good morning, Pam, and hi, Brittany. Did I say hello to Nacy? A few regulars there in the chat. I love seeing you every morning. It's so lovely. Oh, and I've got somebody watching on Facebook. Hello, whoever you are. I can't see who anybody is unless they chat. Hi, Danielle. How you doing? Nice to see you there. Oh, there's my dog starting to bark on cue every morning. And what will happen is my parents come here after they've done their shopping. Oh, Sunsea's here as well. Yeah. My parents come here on a Wednesday after they've done their shopping locally. And every week I say, don't knock on the door. I've left the door open. Just come in, yeah, because the dogs will bark, and I'll probably be doing a YouTube live. And every week they go, okay. And then every week they get here and then just stand there and banging on the door, and the dogs are going crazy. But we love them, the dogs and the parents and the cats in particular, because they're really quiet and well behaved. But don't tell the dogs or the parents that. Right, so, okay, we're going to move on to the 12 card reading. So our 12 card reading, for the regulars, you'll already know this and I'll sound like a broken record. For new people here, what I do is I lay 12 cards down. Now, you can do this in a traditional way. So you could think of a question like, who am I going to meet today? Or what will my day be like? Or what will my children think of me today? How will work go? That kind of thing. And focus on one number. or more than one number to get an answer. Or you might just say in your head, right, cards, what do you want me to hear? And then just listen out for what resonates and use your developing intuition, because believe me, if you are watching this most mornings, and some of you are, then your intuition is developing alongside mine, because mine's certainly honing, because obviously I'm doing this regularly every morning. I've read cards for decades, but you know, you could usually, before I started doing this on YouTube, there would be like a couple of weeks and I wouldn't have picked them up. So this constant practice, of course, you get sharper and sharper and sharper. And thank you, Mandy, for that. Yes, please do like the video and share it if you like with friends who might enjoy it too. And do make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because that really helps me, because I'm trying to get the word out, trying to grow the channel so that I can continue doing this. And sort of make some money from YouTube for doing it. And that means that I will never ever have to charge cash for questions on my channel, because hopefully I'll be able to make just a little bit of pocket money from YouTube monetizing the channel, which means that they'll put an annoying advert on at the beginning and at the end. But it does mean that because I know I'm only spending an hour a day doing this, but I'm self-employed, so it's like it's an hour when I don't earn. So hopefully my goal is to get enough subscribers so that YouTube will give me a little bit just to cover that hour, and then I'll never have to charge for readings on here. I never would anyway. But I'd probably end up sort of having to prioritize work that was going to pay rather than tarot reading, which would be a real shame, because I love doing this, and as much as anything, I love my little community in the morning. I love touching base with you all in the morning. It really sets me up for the day, and I hope some of you feel like that as well, because it's just lovely to see familiar faces and get that little boost for the day. Right, so we're going to lay down the 12 cards and let's see what we get. See if I can get them in the right place this morning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If you're watching this video as a recording, I put the cards here so that you can choose what cards that you're interested in, and then skip forward in the recording to the card that you want, or the cards that you want to hear. So let's start right at the beginning this morning. We're going for the 7 of Wands. 7 of Wands is about letting your defense, and this is reversed, sorry. This is about letting your defenses down, okay? It's telling you it's okay to drop your defenses at the moment, because the team around you have got your back. Yeah, so it's like the community that you lot have on Discord, where everybody has each other's back. It's that kind of feeling. Sometimes under the influence of this card, the 7 of Wands, it can feel like you're a leader, but you've also got people challenging your views, and it's hard to know who to trust, because, you know, sometimes if you're in a position of leadership, or if you're the one in charge, people can challenge you just because they want to challenge your leadership, or perhaps they want to prove to themselves that they know best, or they might want to prove to you that they know best. When this energy is reversed like this, it's like if they give you advice, it's coming from a place of their heart chakra. It's coming from a good place, and they're supporting you up. They're pushing you up rather than bringing you down. All right. So it's a card that says move forward with your team. You can trust your team around you. You can trust them to take you all forward. And that forward momentum is going to benefit the whole team together, because it feels like the synergy between you is like magic and on fire at the moment. And you've all got your own little place in that team. You're all working very well, and there seems to be no sort of unnecessary challenges to authority. You know, when there's just that sort of sense of everybody's bickering for a place and there's power play going on. When I see this card, I see that power play relaxing, and you becoming more able to relax in a position of leadership and be confident in that position of leadership as well. This ties in with the astrology of the day as well, because the astrology of the day is talking about Taurus and that stubborn leader that bull is. So imagine yourself as the bull, the leader of the pack of bulls, and you're able to trust the bullocks and cows behind you because they've got your back. They're all in the herd behind you as you stampede towards the horizon and new adventures. Good morning, Charlene. You're washing up? How absolutely dare you be late? You'll have to sit on the naughty step, I'm afraid. Right, that is number one. You haven't missed much because I've just been rabbiting on as usual. Number two, we had this card yesterday. I love this card. I'm always pleased to see her reappear. And I do shuffle. I mean, you should see me shuffle my cards before I do this. I literally do the 10-finger drop where you drop them all over the desk and like scrub them all around and pick them up, and then I'm shuffling them. So when you see a card come out on a second day running, it's got a message for us. And this card came out in the same orientation as well. This is the Eight of Swords reversed, and it shows a woman with a blindfold on. She's in a prison of her own making. She is trapped. She is she's being held back by somebody or something, and she can't see a way out. When this card is reversed, it's an invitation to you to remove the blindfold and look for the path ahead. Look for your escape route because it's there, okay? The way forward has always been there. It's just you couldn't see the trees for the wood, or the wood for the trees, whichever that saying is. You couldn't see it because you're looking all over the place, and there's just like so many options, and you don't know what to do, and you don't know how to get out of somewhere, and you consider one thing, then you consider the other thing. But this card is saying, hey, you trapped lady, just stop for a minute and pause and reflect. Because the path forward has always been there. You just need to remove your blindfold, and you just need to find that internal focus in order to find your way out of this entrapment. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you are in prison like Julia Vandal. It is like, very few prisons are prisons that are made of bars. Most of our prisons are ones in our mind, aren't they? So this is a card that can be associated with, for example, a depressed mind state, because we become a prisoner of our own minds. I have agoraphobia, so I can literally make myself a prisoner in my own home, but literally the walls aren't the prisoner, the mind is. So this would be a card that says, turn that feeling over on its head, take the blindfold off, find the path forward, find the path to clear this prison, and walk forward into a new beginning, a new path where you're going to find things work out a lot better for you without those burdens on your back. Number three, what a fantastic card to come after the Eight of Swords. So this is like Eight of Swords, walk away from what's imprisoning you, because if you resonate with number three, or if you chose number three, this is your journey's end. This is the Ten of Cups. It's a 10, so it's the culmination of something. It's cups, so it's slightly emotional, which is often relationships. And this card is associated with the sort of final positive levels of a relationship. So it's when you get to that part where you finally commit to the stage where you want to be. So whether that is just in a monogamous relationship, or an engagement, or a marriage, or any other type of relationship, what is your shared goal? This is where you get to when you see this card. And if you look at the illustration on it, this couple are quite traditional. You have the man and the woman there, and they're looking at their 2.4 children playing. Is there a dog on there? I can't see a dog, but I'm sure there will be somewhere. And their little home in the background. So it's all rather traditional, their setup. And they're just looking over it, and they're congratulating each other on how wonderful their relationship is and how far they've come together. But this doesn't necessarily, remember, the tarot is like centuries. These designs are centuries old. The tarot itself, possibly thousands of years old, in different incarnations. So the images are symbolic rather than literal. You're talking about a deck. This particular deck was made by the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, which I believe was the 1700s or something. So the images that these are developed from are very traditional of that time. So you've got the traditional couple there. But of course, today couples and traditional happiness in a relationship comes in all sorts of forms. For example, down the me train again, let's start up the me train. For me, that might be as a single person. I might have found my best spiritual happy place in a relationship with myself. And so this card would mean that solitariness to me, but to somebody else it would mean something completely different. So what this means from an interpretation point of view is that this energy around you at the moment is inviting you to pause and reflect on how far you've come in a relationship and just how secure that feels to you, and count your blessings as well. It's like encouraging you to see the yes, Mr. Steve, that's Pamela Coleman, that's the lady. That's who I'm trying to think of. I can never remember people's names. Was it the 1700s as well, the Golden Dawn? Because I always forget that as well. It's if it's 17 something, is that the 1700s or the 1800s? Because you know, it's when you say the 17th century, it's like the 18 something. You know how that works? It's like the 21st century when it was 2024. We're in the 21st century, but it's 2024. It confuses me as numbers do. So, what was I saying? Oh, train of thought gone. Yes, sit back. If you are in a relationship, you know, it's like sometimes we get really negative about things, don't we, when we've been with somebody for a long time. Sometimes it becomes really easy just to see their negatives and to see the negatives of the relationship. And I think this is a card that reminds you to really appreciate the people that you have a relationship with, whether that's friends, family, intimate partners, yourself, to actually sit down and notice what's good about that relationship rather than either taking it for granted or pulling it apart and just focusing on the negatives. Because as human beings, we have a unique ability to see things from that negative slant. It's as if we're programmed to do that. It's as if we're sort of programmed to pick out the things that don't work so that we can make them right. But sometimes it's healthy for us to pick out the things that are right and just to wallow in that golden glow of happiness. And the 10 of Cups is that golden glow of happiness. Number four, you have the Four of Cups reversed. So the Four of Cups reversed can mean sort of you felt a little bit bored, and you might be waking up from a period of contemplation and deciding which way to take to go forward. Because if you look at this card when it's this way up, we haven't had this card very often. It's like this card is a card of missed opportunities, because you see this guy is like focusing on these cups here, and there's literally a cup being handed from a cloud in this hand of fate. It's like, here, have this cup, mate, and they just not even looking around. So it's like a missed opportunity. But it can also mean boredom, because it's like, these cups are so tedious. I don't want any of these cups. Give me new cups. When this turns upside down, it's like that period of contemplation seems to be over, and you seem to be waking up from feeling bored and feeling directionless. And it's a card that encourages you to put the bit between your teeth and to start in a new direction, or to grab the thing that's interesting you. Grab the cup that you like most, okay? The world is your oyster. That's a good message for this card. And you may well have several cups on the table. So decide which one is filled with what you want. Pick it up and down it, okay? And then, then move on. So it's really a card of action, and it's really a card, and Mandy, I'm reading that and laughing as I'm reading that about me laughing and trying to stay focused while reading the chat, which is a bit of a head spinner. So this is back to the card, yeah. Your period of boredom and contemplation is over. Pick up your cup, drink the contents, and take the bull by the horns and get on with whatever it is that was in that cup, because you've sort of dabbled around in some different choices and played around with different options, but now it's time to move forward and to push forward in this new direction. And it feels like it could be emotional because it's cups, so it could be to do with a relationship, but also cups of feelings. So it could be something to do with work, but it's something that makes you feel strongly. So it's not just like deciding whether to put red socks or green socks on. It's like deciding if you were going to, you know, change your entire look because you wanted to manifest yourself as a woodland sprite because you felt strongly about it. Like that kind of real decision making on an emotional level, if you get my meaning. I know that was a bit of an obscure example. Number five, I'm loving the cards today. Number 5, you've got the 9 of Cups in the upright position. So think of a wish. What's your wish? This card means that it's going to be granted and it's on its way to you now as we speak. So it's called the wish card. It's such a simple card to read in general terms. When it's upside down, it's like, yeah, you're not going to get your wish with doing what you're currently doing. But when it's this way up, it's like, yes, your wish is going to come true. And it's like, whatever you've been trying to manifest, so that thing that you've set your heart on, or what you've been trying your hardest to get to, it's actually happening now. The wheels have started to turn. You're actually going to find that happiness and contentment that you've dreamt of. And it is in achieving this thing that you've envisioned as being the thing that will make your dreams come true. Yeah, Charlene, this is like one of the best cards to actually choose. As long as you're manifesting something which is for the power of good, you know. If you were manifesting something really tricksy, then I guess this could be a dodgy card. But if you're manifesting something that's for the power of good, then this is a really, really good card to have. And it's like, it's a lovely card. Like if you are, you know, if you have been pursuing a romantic interest, and let's say that you are sort of putting feelers out that you're interested in them and you're not quite sure if they're interested in you back, and this is like a card that says yes, they are. Whatever you've wanted from them, they are feeling it too, and that energy is going to come to you. So if you're not in the boat of having those little romantic titillations and thoughts, and that you're not in the bag for that, then whatever it is you've been desiring, something that you've set your heart on, is coming your way. And it means also that you don't need to change tact. Whatever you're doing in order to manifest that now, you've taken the right path. So just keep doing what you're doing and that should fall into your lap. So I love that one. And has anybody seen Aussie Mel? Since she asked me to do a 3 card for her, I think because she had something to do with work the next day, and we did it and it looked really good, and then I haven't seen her since, so I don't think I have. So I'm hoping that she's okay and things worked out. If anybody sees her, then let her know that I'm thinking of her. Number 6. Oh, another card that's a bit like So number 6 is the 4 of Swords reversed. This is a card of exhaustion and rest, and when you're just like, I can't go any further, I need the big sleep, and you sleep for days and days, whether that's literal or whether you're just like tired out. So when it's up this way, yeah, Charlene, where is she? She's normally quite active around, isn't she? And I haven't seen her. So maybe I just got it completely wrong and she just doesn't want to come back. I don't know. We'll have to see. Right, so this card, it's like when it's reversed, it's like saying this period of exhaustion is over, and it ties in with the 8 of Swords reversed, which is the period of self-imprisonment is over, and it ties in with the 4 of Cups, which could be the period of contemplation, the period of procrastination and being bored and not knowing which way to go. That's over. So these 3 cards have all got very similar meanings, just slightly nuanced. And this 4 of Swords is very much about physical energy and like your mind power. When you're under the influence of this energy this way up, it's like having that brain that's foggy, sluggish. You can't, like, it's like trying to start a motorbike that's got water in the petrol. It's like it won't start up. It's just stuttering. When this energy reverses, it's like and your mind is like ready to take off like a little motorbike and just start like getting to the places that you need to go again. So these are really good cards, all of them, for manifesting that change in energy. And I know that we've all been feeling a bit unsettled and having problems with sleep and tiredness and exhaustion recently. And I sort of put it down personally to the Schumann resonance and to solar flare activity, magnetic activity. And I know I've seen different theories along those lines from other people as well. So perhaps this is indicative of those things shifting round, and we're going to finally get that surge of power that we've been waiting for. Because I know, like, and I've spoken to a couple of you, and we have been feeling like we've been dragging ourselves out of bed, and it's been like an effort to do anything. And I'm certainly like that. I've had to make a tick list in the morning, and I'm like, done, done. Number 3, done. Is it time for a nap? When really you want to be like, yay, take on the day, seize the day, and all this. But it's like a card which turns that around. And Charlene, I hope this card means that that flare up that's coming your way is deflected. Let's really hope it is, because I get where you are with that, and it's just a horrible place to be. So I'm hoping that this card is meaning that that energy's reversed. I don't even know if that's possible for you, but let's hope that it is. But it bodes well anyway. It does bode well. I'm going to go to number 12. Number 12. So we have the Emperor, but he's reversed. So the Emperor reversed is about somebody can be in need of protection, or they could feel a little bit exposed, or they could feel powerless, and they can feel like unstable, they can feel insecure, they can feel like it's a destabilized energy. It's like feeling not sure of yourself, a little bit unsure of your direction, sort of needing, almost like needing a father figure, but not necessarily a male figure, not necessarily a masculine energy, just somebody who is that calming paternal energy almost to nurture, to say, you know, there, it's going to be okay. You're going to be all right. You just need to do this or do that or put your foot in that direction, because it's like you're being tripped up by your own feelings of powerlessness at the moment. And it feels like you don't feel like you're in charge of your own emotions. Even feels like you might feel like you're on a treadmill and you're going down a certain route and you just can't seem to turn round off it. And the Emperor reversed sort of indicates that feeling of a lack of power and a direction that you're not quite sure that you want to go in. So what do we do about this? Well, the reversed Emperor's message is his energy is always around, okay? This energy is around you. I read reversals as blockages. And the Emperor's energy is the creator, the protector. He is the paternal nurturer. He can lead the way. He can take you by the hand. He can lead you to better things, and he can show you the way forward. So what you need to do is trust the Emperor. So it's a card of trust the process, okay? Have faith in the process. Remind yourself that, good morning, Seagull guitarist. Have I seen you in here before? Or it hasn't been for a while, I don't think. Unless I've just ignored you, but I don't think so. I don't think I've seen you in here for a while. And every time I speak, how does Ron, or anybody for that matter, speak, read the chat and continue speaking? I'm like a dodgy computer system. I start doing something and all my other windows just crash. So I've crashed. Wait a minute. What was I thinking of? Look at the card. Yeah, it's about trust the process. It's about remind yourself, at the minute you might be feeling a little bit off kilter and like you're going in all sorts of directions, not quite sure where to go. But remember how many times you felt like that before. How many times you felt like perhaps you couldn't make it through to the right place. Perhaps you weren't in. No, Seagull, I don't think you've popped in before, but you're dipping your toes in. We like it. We like it here. Come, see us more often. So, yeah, trust the process. Remind yourself how many times you've made mistakes, or you've gone down the wrong path, or something hasn't worked out as planned, or you felt that you were being led in the wrong direction and weren't sure how to stop going down that path. How many times that's happened before? And yet here you are, back on your path. Back, you pick yourself up, you dust yourself down, and you continue. So you carry on. And the Emperor reversed is about trusting that process, trusting yourself, because the power is within and it's not gone anywhere. It's still there. It's just, it seems to be blocked a little bit. And you can get to that because you have that mindset. One thing goes wrong and we start to like negatively manifest by using, it's like that self-fulfilling prophecy. You get into that mindset of, right, well, that's going to happen, then that'll happen, and then no doubt that'll happen as well. And before you know it, you're like negatively manifesting all these little events and it feels like you're trotting off down the wrong path. So what you need to do is put the brakes on and just say to yourself, I am sovereign, I am the emperor, I am sovereign in my life, I know my way forward, and I'm in charge here, and I'm going to put myself right. And then you sit back, you watch things around you objectively from above, sit above it on the throne of the emperor, look down over the minions of your life and imagine every little bit of your life playing out as your kingdom in front of you. You're in charge of it all. And then you pick out the bits that aren't working and you flick them over the side of the globe of life, and you keep the bits that are working and you observe it. So you observe your own narrative as the emperor from your throne, and then you can see what's working and what isn't and focus on what works and what doesn't in order to rectify that blocked energy. And I hope that analogy wasn't too wayward and that it sort of made sense. I knew what I meant in my head. Number 11. Number 11, interesting card again to go with our reversed emperor, because here we've got a king reversed. This is the King of Cups reversed. So the King of Cups reversed can be a bit of a tricky man. So because this is a one card reading, remember I always tell you that when it's one card, it would be disingenuous of me to say, I know exactly what this card means. It's you or it's somebody you will meet at 10 o'clock today. That's rubbish, okay? This is a masculine energy, but it could be you, it could be somebody else. It could even be just like that masculine energy situation. And no, that's not very specific. And that's because it's a single card. When you read tarot, you read meaning, but you also read context. So you read cards in relation to each other. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to associate this card with my reversed emperor because it's a very similar thing, but it's talking more about a reversal of refusal to be swayed by emotion. It's talking about somebody who has repressed their emotions or who is acting without their heart. So it's like, if this is you, or if this is somebody that you come across, it's somebody who's acting from a cold place. So you could be discounting the emotional toll that something is taking on yourself or others. And it's a card that invites you to turn your head off for a moment and turn your heart on and look at things through the eyes of your heart chakra to see how things are affecting people emotionally. Now, this could also just as easily, you don't have to be the tyrant here because this guy can be a bit of a tyrant. In fact, he can be a little bit brutal. He's powerful, but he's brutal because he feels like he switched his emotions off. But just as easily, you could be like on the receiving end of this energy. So you could be treated quite brutally today by a masculine energy who's operating from a place of logic or mind rather than heart. So they might speak without considering the impact on your feelings. And the way to deal with the King of Cups is to avoid him, or to, at the very least, just avoid reacting to him, because kings, when they're in their reversed state, can be really quite stubborn because they're used to being in charge. All right, so when they get themselves all upset and upside down, it's like it's really difficult to reason with them because they're still like, I'm the king, I know everything, I'm right. So you're better off sometimes just going, oh right then, okay, as all this goes over your head, because sometimes when you react to one of this kind of energy, when you react to this kind of energy, it's like you're butting heads, and all it does, remember physics, when two energies butt together, you create more energy. So you're pouring fuel onto the fire. So if this is you today, just try to examine how you are dealing with people and make sure that you are considering the emotional impact that you're having on somebody, or if this is how you're being treated today by somebody or a situation, then try to just let it go over your head, because it feels like to butt heads with it would be like banging your head against a brick wall, and there's some mixed metaphors for you right there. So it's like, just let it go over your head, sit back. If you can do something different entirely. Do not engage with this energy. Just let it flow past you and wait for the true energy to come back, because the leader in the King of Cups is an emotional, masculine, caring, nurturing, powerful male energy that's able to push things forward, get things done, but while still considering the emotional impact on people. So it's a lovely card, but can be a real trickster upside down like that. Number 10. Number 10, a positive card. So number 10, we've got the Six of Wands, and the Six of Wands shows somebody riding. It's the literal interpretation is this person is riding home from a battle, and they've received a, like, you know, when you win a battle and you get a garland of flowers put on the end of your staff or whatever, something like that, and you sort of ride home victorious with the spoils of war in front of you. So this is a card that tells you that what you tackle today, you will be successful at, and you will achieve what you want to achieve, and you will be rewarded for those achievements. So your garland will be placed on your wand. So what you have worked hard to achieve, you will receive the reward from that. Nacy, you have to go. Back on the replay crew later. Brilliant. Have a good day or night, wherever you are. So when you're under the influence of this energy, it's like one of those times where you're almost like King Midas. What you're going to touch is going to turn to gold. And it's like you can carry people along with you as well, because you're riding out in front of, leading the battle home, leading the victors home. You are in charge of these people. They are looking to you as their leader. And it feels like you've been victorious because you've used your energy and your inspiration in order to achieve what you have today, because your wands are about your inspiration, and they're about energy, and they're about that feeling of you put things right. Yeah, you put things right and you did things right and you won. Yeah, so now that you have won, now you can take some time to almost retreat and recognize what you've achieved and use that information to grow before you ride out into battle again. And when I say battle, I don't mean like pop round the shops and have a confrontation with somebody with a shopping trolley. It's like that metaphorical sort of, you know, the challenges of life. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound patronizing there either about shopping trolley, but it's how I see things in my head. So it's like, you know, it's the battles of life, the challenges. We go out day after day, don't we? And we take things on. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. Today feels like it's going to be a winning day for you. See you, Seagull, and thank you for dropping in. And do come and see us again, 10:30 GMT every weekday morning. I don't even know what time zone you're in. So if this is you today, enjoy the spoils of battle. You've won, you're victorious, and you've been rewarded. Number 9. Number 9. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We have, hello Sonali, have you just joined us? Number 9, we have the Empress. So if you are resonating with the number 9 card today, or if you have chosen number 9, this is a really powerful card for you. And this is a card which is about nurturing. The literal interpretation of this card is often associated with fertility and pregnancy. So if that was a particular question, it's a very, very sort of narrow question. He's near Stonehenge, Charlene. Oh my goodness, that is like almost my favourite part of the world. Last time I went down that way, I went to Stonehenge and then I went across to Glastonbury, which is my favourite town in all the world. Like, not when the festival's on because it's just mad busy, but just the actual town. I love it. Oh, it's just amazing. Like, you can see real wizards like walking around the supermarkets and stuff, and nobody bats an eyelid. Wow, I'd love to live down that area. I know it's quite away from Stonehenge, but it's like it's still travelable for me because like I'm miles and miles away from all of that. Right, sorry, back to the Empress. So this is the mothering energy. It's nurturing. If you have chosen this card today, you can expect to feel bountiful. You can expect projects that you've started to pay off. You can expect things that you've invested in to pay off. You can expect to feel compassionate towards people, or you can expect to be nurtured. You can expect to feel growth. You can expect for somebody to invest their time and effort and love in you. It's a card of caring. It's a card of being the mother and receiving mothering. And it doesn't have to be from your mother. It's somebody representing mother. Perhaps it's Gaia, planet Earth. Perhaps it's you sitting in nature and being nurtured by that cocooned, feeling that nature around you. Just, you know, taking care of you. I Virginia between Stonehenge and Glastonbury, I am literally jealous. That is like, if I ever was able to move from where I live, that's where I would be going. It's just such a spiritually singing place. You can feel the energy down there. I just love the place. I really do. I love Glastonbury Tour as well. Oh, right. I need to stop like fangirling about Glastonbury and finish the reading. But wow, I am totally jealous of that. So Empress energy. This is a Glastonbury card. This is Glastonbury has Gaia energy, has mothering, nurturing energy. It's birthing new ideas spiritually all the time. It's taking up new spiritual pursuits, nurturing other people's beliefs, being that caring soul, and being the Mother Earth energy. So this is very much a Glastonbury card. And if you've chosen this card today, practically, how might you manifest that energy? Perhaps you might pick up something, a spiritual pursuit that you want to spend time doing. Perhaps you might have a self-care day. Perhaps you could reach out to somebody who needs some nurturing, or perhaps it's just a day to sit and catch some sun and give thanks for the world around us and Mother Earth and everything that she brings to us. And I'm going down my witchy goddess route here, aren't I? So that's our Empress. Number 8. Okay, so we've got Judgment, and Judgment is reversed. So it feels like this card can feel like you might have been feeling like a little bit of indecision around. It's an important decision. It's an important time of your life because this is a major arcana card. And it could feel like you're having a bit of a wobble at the moment, or you're going to have a bit of a wobble about a major crossroads. So it feels like you might have a decision to make either at the moment or very, very soon. And it could feel like a difficult decision to make because it feels like one way is an ending and one way is the beginning of something else. So it's not a question of just changing slightly your direction. It's like a major shift, which means the end of something and the beginning of something new, if you see what I mean. So it's obviously those decisions are the hardest to make because, you know, it's difficult to decide which things in our life we don't have the space for in our lives anymore and which things we do. But if, like me, you struggle with taking on too much and spreading yourself too thinly, it's really, really the power of discernment and knowing what to focus on and what to say goodbye to, what to cut ties with, is so powerful because it's so important that you're able to do that in your own life, because otherwise you end up running around like a headless chicken and not getting anything done to a satisfactory level because you're doing a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there, and everything's getting a little bit of you but not enough. So this card to me talks about that need to be able to make those decisions and to make them clearly and succinctly, and in order to move forward in a more together way, so in a more structured way, in order to achieve what you want to achieve. And it could be that you have to change position entirely. The other side of this card, I'll just mention this little other interpretation of it just in case, because it is just a one card reading and some of these cards have multiple meanings. This card literal judgment. It can mean, with it being upside down, being judged unfairly by another person, or judging somebody yourself unfairly. So whenever there's judgment being called into play, watch out for this today, because it's an upside down card, it's reversed, it's blocked. So it would mean that your judgment would be off. So it's either that crossroads where your judgment needs to be precise, or if you have to decide on something that isn't a crossroads, just make sure that you're examining the whole circumstances before you make a life-changing decision, or before one's made about you. Yeah, but make sure they have the facts as well. Final card for this morning, number 7, we've got the Three of Pentacles reversed. The Three of Pentacles reversed is sort of indicating that there could be problems at work. It could be that you need to pick up some new skills in order to progress. It feels like you might feel like you've bitten off more than you can chew in some respect, or it's a card that you'd get if you were a contractor and you were trying to do everything at once yourself. This card would be telling you that you needed to outsource something in order to get to fulfill a contract. It'd be like, yeah, you said you're going to do the electrical work yourself as well as doing the plumbing and the building, but you really need to hire an electrician, because otherwise the job isn't getting done to the right level that it needs to be done. So this card, obviously that's a really literal example again, but this card is like tapping you on the shoulder and saying, do you need to ask somebody for some help here? Is there a skill that you don't have that you need? Is it something that you can learn? Can you outsource it? Or is it just something that you can ask for advice on? It's also a card about, are you ignoring the skills that somebody else brings to the table? So there could be somebody very close to you who's got skills that you could use, or you could combine your skills together in order to get somewhere you both want to get. And this is a card that would say to you, here, tap them on the shoulder and ask them if they would mind sharing those skills. Or perhaps you can have a reciprocal exchange of skills and barter, like, I shall do your accounts and you can fix my bath, or something like that, you know, just that. I love bartering. I'd love to be able to do it successfully. And I'm sort of hinting on Facebook at the moment, with everybody I can see growing their own vegetables, that I'll do art or readings for veg. Nobody's taken me up on the offer yet, but I've only just started the campaign, so it could be a long burn one. I'll just keep plugging away. So this would be, my card would be saying, like, keep plugging away, because you will get those vegetables. You just need to wait for the energy to be noted, so somebody to go, I can see what she's doing here. She's trying to get some of our vegetables and offering us a reading. So it's this, you're waiting for the card's energy to turn around. So have a look around you. Where can you skill share? Where can you barter perhaps with those skills in order to achieve shared goals? Right, well, I think that was a sort of quiet reading this morning. It felt sort of subdued a little bit, but in a good way. I felt quite calm this morning. I hope that was reflected in the readings. I don't see that I have any questions. I haven't spotted any. I'm just going to have a quick scan up the chat if I can. Why won't it go up? Am I pressing the wrong thing? No, I am not. I don't know why it won't. Why can't I go up? I can't. Let's try pressing a button instead. No. Why is that not? Why is that not a little scrolly bar? A strange system. I can't see if I had any questions, but I think I would have spotted them because the chat was moving really slowly today, so I didn't see any questions coming, so I'm assuming I haven't got any. And yeah, Mandy, it was a lovely spread this morning. It was really gentle, and it was all about sort of working together and achieving things and walking away from sort of feeling trapped places and being able to find the way forward, and like taking crossroads and working together and avoiding conflict. I love today's reading, and if you could all have a day based on that reading, then I think we'll all be really happy with that. So any last moment questions from anybody before I call it a day for the day, or a day for the night, depending on where you are in the world? And wherever you are in the world, I do hope that you are having have had a fabulous day or are about to have a fabulous day, and that we can catch up with each other on a live somewhere in the universe of YouTube later on today or tomorrow if you're in Australia, isn't it? So I get confused with time zones. I'm not going to lie. I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to time zones. So I'm going to bid you all farewell for the day. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm going to, oh, the studio painting that I'm doing, the Virginia painting. I had to abandon ship yesterday because there was a gigantic spider on the wall of the studio and it was moving its way slowly over the studio door. And I realised that if it got over the door, because I'm really, really frightened of spiders, if it got over the door, I would be trapped in the studio because I live alone and like I wouldn't be able to fit out of the studio window. I wouldn't be able to go underneath the spider to get out of the door. And so I would be stuck in the very small studio, which is like an old utility room. So it's not even like attached to the house properly. So I'd have to wait for my parents to arrive today and rescue me. So I thought it was best that I escaped while I could still get out of there. And that's what I did. So I abandoned ship and I left the reading where it was. And now my parents are just arriving now, and so the first thing I'm doing is sending them in there to try to get the spider out. Now, the worst thing that can have happened here, obviously, is that it's not there. Because if you imagine if it's not there, it means it's somewhere in there, which means I have to go and work with it in there, not knowing where it's going to pop up. So I'm hoping that they go in there and find it. But then I have to persuade my stepdad not to just knock it off the wall with a broom and then stamp on it, because I don't want him to kill it at all. To try and do it in a humane way, because my mum will try and do it humanely, but my stepdad just be like, yeah, just knock it off and stamp on it, which I don't want him to do. And Mr. Steve, I can't blow them with hair dryers or put them in a glass or anything like that, because everybody always goes, oh, you just do this, or you just use a spider catcher or use a glass. I can't get that close. It's like a physiological reaction. As soon as it moved, I'd just like scream and run and like faint, and just it's just an awful thing to see. So actually, yeah, Charlene, I might end up having to paint outside and then we can have textured paintings with flies all stuck in the acrylic. So I'm hoping to do a little bit more of the painting yesterday for Virginia. So hopefully I can get back in the studio. But if it's just gone, that's fine, because I'll keep my eye out for it and I'll get used to it, because it's a really old house where I live and the studio's got like a big roof like this, and like you can get right up into the roof in a sort of attic thing. So I'm gonna like say, if it disappears, it will have gone right up into the roof and it's really unlikely to drop on my head. In fact, I don't even want to tempt fate and say that. So I will do my best to get back in there. I once had to move out of a house literally because there was a big spider in it and the spider disappeared and I couldn't get anybody to come and like find it. So I had to move to my mum's for a couple of days until she eventually went, look, you can't stay here anymore. We're going to go and find the spider. And we went in and I was like stood in the middle of the flat, like not wanting to touch anything, saying, I don't know where it is. And luckily she went into the kitchen sink. Yes, I can take a question, Mahogany. Just put one in the chat. I know I'm just blithering on here. We were standing having a coffee and she went to tip her coffee down the kitchen sink and there it was in the bottom of the kitchen sink, like a massive spider. And like, have you noticed though how the really big ones don't seem to be around anymore? Like some years here, to get like on one night, there'd be 3 or 4 like massive wolf spiders in the sitting room and I'd literally be a nervous wreck. I couldn't sleep or anything. And then touch wood, that's for Micah, that will do. Like I hadn't seen any the last few years, but the one on the studio wall is big. So I'm hoping that isn't a sign of things to come this year, because it's early as well. You don't normally get them like the big ones coming out here till the end of summer. So let's hope it's not a portent of spider doom. So Mahogany, I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes there, my dear. Ooh, will meat and tea end up in a long-term relationship? Oh, I love these questions. Right, bear with me while I shuffle and I'll try and shut up, because sometimes Right, I'll tell you before I start shuffling. Sometimes if I'm talking when I'm shuffling, I'm actually transferring energy into the cards, and I can see it when I put the cards down. So I'm going to focus, okay? So just feel free to talk amongst yourselves while I shuffle. Ooh, right. So this is interesting because it feels like there is, with you and T, it feels like this is either somebody that you've known from your childhood or past or for a long time, or it's somebody that you have a past life connection with. Feels like you have been in a close relationship before. Not necessarily sort of an intimate relationship, but it does feel that there is this almost like either earlier in this life or past life connection between you and this particular person, because we have the Six of Cups here, which is also tying in with our Two of Pentacles, which is a card of balance, and it talks about a karmic balance as well. Now, when you have a relationship like this, it's almost like that, I want to say twin flame energy, but that, like, everybody goes, wow, twin flames, and it's perhaps not as strong as that, but there is that sort of energy of balancing each other out, and it being have been played through times before. It's as if you've gone through the motions before with this person, either earlier in this life, so it's either somebody you've known earlier in your life or in a past life. But it feels like that this energy has been difficult for you to keep balanced, okay? It's either one of you will be feeling it and one of you won't, or it seems it's very rarely been reciprocal between you. It's very rarely been sort of, you've both felt it equally. It's up and down. I'm just going to pull a clarifier on that. Yes, and you've got the Fool card reversed. So this is telling me about the start of a new relationship, because we've got our Zero and we've got the Fool, which is the start of something, and he's coming up with our card of unbalanced energy again and upside down. So it feels like, yes, this you will end up in a relationship with this person, but it's like you're going to have to tread carefully and set boundaries and make sure that you're going into this considering all your options and making sure you don't just jump into it, okay? Because it's one of those relationships where it's so exciting, you're like straight in there, and then you end up in this position again where it feels like you're juggling things and it feels like you get unbalanced, okay? So ideally, you want to end up in this position where you both feel like equals in the relationship. So you're going to have the urge to jump in feet first, okay, which we do when it feels this good, but just try to restrain yourself a little bit. Just try to hold back a little bit. It is going to be a new lease to this relationship, but you also have coming up as the culmination card, the outcome is a 10, which is talking about something concluding. So that is a long-term relationship, and it's also the 10 of Wands. And if you look at this card, I always show you this just in case you think I'm making it up, so I can talk you through the illustration. This guy is carrying his burden towards a mountain and a castle. Now, what that symbolizes in tarot is that you're carrying, so the mountain is the challenge, the castle is the destination, it's the home, and in this case your destination, where you're where you're aiming for, is the long-term relationship. So this card is telling me that you will finally get to put your burden down when you reach this destination. So it's like this burden of not knowing and really wanting that long-term relationship. You're going to be able to put it down because it feels like the relationship will end up feeling like you've come home, and it feels like you've come home. And again, it plays into that almost twin flame energy, that balance that you've been trying to achieve with this person, either in this life or in previous lives. I hope that resonated for you, Mahogany Clark. You've put some eyes into the chat. Does that mean that it resonated, or does it mean that you can see what I'm doing? I think it means you can see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna close for today, and Spirit, don't tempt fate. Okay, Pam, I'm with you on that one. I'm going to close for today because I've just heard my parents come in downstairs, and I'm going to have to mobilize them in the studio to get rid of Spidicus giganticus so that I can continue to paint. And if you're new to the chat and if you haven't seen my studio paintings, then you'll see a live stream on my channel. My head went blank there, and you'll be able to watch me paint. I'm an artist as well as a tarot reader. In fact, I'm an artist first and a tarot reader second, and tarot is my love, and art is my work and my love, I guess. So there we go. Okay, so it's been lovely spending time with you all this morning, and I hope to see you tomorrow morning. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Please share the feed with anybody who might enjoy it. We've got a great community going on here as well. It's so lovely to have somewhere to touch base with everybody at the same time every morning. It's really helping me out emotionally, mentally, and I hope you feel that too as well. So meet you tomorrow, same place, same time, and stay